part of the show. All right, Paul.
All right, the top 5 at 5:55. All right, the first, we could double dip today if we have time, guys, because I did kind of a yin and yang thing here. But the 5 bad choices. Tennessee is in a bad way with their athletic department, but their football team is really just a mess, and it's been a mess. It's probably the worst mess of all the messes of the formerly great programs at Tennessee. I mean, I can't. Is there one worse that you can think of the formerly greats?
That's got a worse
You're
situation
using the word
right now.
great in Tennessee?
I mean, they won a national.
To me, they
won a national title in 1998.
I know, but I never thought of. They're good. I never thought of them. They're kind of a. I don't know if they have a jacket at Augusta National.
Okay,
but they are. They're kind of in that blue blood. I don't know. Okay,
but I mean,
it's been a while.
A program with
they
assets.
got 6 national titles, which is 1 less than Oklahoma and 1 or 2 more.
Johnny
than Texas,
Majors,
so.
or it was not Johnny Majors. It was the other guy. They named a stadium after him. Was it Neyland?
Neyland,
yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, of that, they're a mess.
Okay.
So Jeremy Pruitt is out and fired for cause amid an NCAA investigation that's coming.
That he's, by the way, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's going to be fascinating because he's going to pull the old
Saban rehab.
No. Well, he'll probably do that. He probably will do that. That's what Bill O'Brien's doing now. But he's going to go the David Beatty route and is going to have some legal repercussions heading Tennessee's way. So what they did by making this move, because basically they're just trying to get out of it financially, is they're now going to have to open up their books most likely because of this lawsuit. So just schools, like, be careful what you wish for, because it's not as simple as like, oh, well, we need to get rid of this guy, let's get rid of him, because there's more that could be headed your way, and that looks like that's going to be the situation with Tennessee.
All right, so more than likely, because now Philip Fulmer's out and they don't have an athletic director, they're going to make a bad choice because they've done nothing but make bad choices since Philip Fulmer retired, or they kind of pushed him out the first time. So here's 5 bad choices Tennessee's head coach. Number 5, Kevin Steele,
Who might end up being Tennessee's
who is
next
the
coach.
interim head coach right now.
Yeah.
And he might wind up being,
He's been an interim twice for 2 SEC teams in the last month.
yes. Number 4,
Dude,
Jeff Fisher. Jeff Fisher has thrown his name out there for this job, and he's not recruited. I don't like that at all. I mean,
yeah. I'm not a big Jeff Fisher fan. I don't have a real valid reason for why. I don't know exactly why.
There
but
was something about him that he did.
I just
something,
never was a
wasn't
big
it?
fan of the guy.
Can't remember what it was.
there's a story about him about how he kind of ran things in Tennessee for a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the Rams.
When I've seen it, like Herm Edwards was hired at Arizona State, I thought that was a bad move, and not because he's been a guest on the show and he's incredible. We like him. He's done a hell of a job at Arizona State. He's done a really nice job, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Jeff Fisher's not Herm Edwards. All right, number 3.
No, okay.
Tom Herman. And look, and this is not necessarily about Tom Herman.
From UT
the
to
coach,
UT.
But, I just think that this is not a situation that he needs to get himself in long term. Like, if he wants to rehabilitate, hey, it didn't work out at Texas, it's got to be somewhere else. He does not need to go to Tennessee, which is an absolute dumpster fire right now.
No, I don't think he would handle that situation all that well. I think even with, Mack Rhodes, he says that Matt Rule was like his number 1 guy, but, apparently they might have at least talked to Herman's people or were gauged in how interested he might be back during that time. And it was clear that he was going to Texas or he was going to end up at LSU, but he's very immature. He's a very immature grown man, and the kind of stunts that he was pulling in Austin, eventually, as much as the losses led to him getting the boot, the middle finger on the Longhorn Network during signing day, and just dumb stuff like that. So I think when you got a program with as many problems as they have, he needs to take the route of a lot of other coaches who get the boot. Go away for a year. Go join Saban's staff or whatever and get that rehab treatment. Go join the Clemson, something. And mature a little bit and learn a little bit and figure out where you went wrong and then get back in the mix. But jumping straight into Tennessee with what they got going on, that would be just a total disaster.
All right, number 2, Kevin Steele. Yeah, he's on here twice. It's a bad idea.
See,
it's that bad of an idea.
I'm glad because I wanted to ask this question. Do people outside of Waco and the Baylor fan base view him the same way people in the Baylor fan base and Waco view him?
No, they don't, because they have not had that experience of UNLV and a cluster blank, dumpster fire. And, as an assistant coach, as a coordinator, as a recruiting person, he was fantastic at some of the best blue blood programs in the country. He has won national titles. He's been places where that team has been successful, and he's helped get them maybe to another level, but he will always be known for what he did at Baylor which was a complete disaster.
All right, number one, and this is the one I think that Tennessee fans are going to go hot and heavy for, and it's Hugh Freeze. It's because he's from Tennessee. They think he'll be good there. But Hugh Freeze is at Liberty right now because he got in NCAA trouble and other trouble at Auburn. And if you fire a coach for NCAA trouble and then you bring in another one who had it recently, that's like getting rid of the Riddler and hiring the Penguin. I mean, like, what are you doing? It's the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
No, they can't. They cannot afford. There's no way Tennessee can drop themselves into that grease.
Yeah. All right. Tomorrow we'll do the 5 good choices, provided they haven't.
We're
hired a
giving
coach.
Tennessee a lot of credit.
Yeah.
I mean,
That in what way?
like, I mean, they're getting a lot. This is heavy duty
like
stuff.
2 days
yeah.
of top 5s in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I felt like if I dragged them through the mud, I would at least give them some good idea. Unless you want to do it really fast right now.
No. We'll wait. We'll wait
Okay.
for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't want. No, we're good.
Hugh Freeze will be interesting to see where he goes. You know, that almost led to a weird domino effect when I don't even remember what job it was that opened up, and he got rumored for it. And then there was already talk of like, well, Riles will slide into the Liberty job because of Ian and all of that stuff. But when Freeze does leave Liberty and how he ends up leaving Liberty, I am interested to see. I'm interested to see who's going to make that move because somebody will. There's no doubt. But at the same time, I don't think everybody can make that move. I think there's certain programs that you can't touch Hugh Freeze. So
Tennessee's one of them right now.
yeah, and they're one of them. And it was so disgusting to see how many of these programs who just recently opened up who probably bashed all over Baylor years ago or bashed on whichever team's been, you know, in the bad headlines. And then they turn right around their Twitter profile like 2 days later. They're begging for Hugh Freeze to be the head. Like the talking out of both sides is just so ridiculous.
Tennessee, there were, of those 6 titles, the one with Phil Fulmer was legitimate. The one in 1951 was the AP UPI with Robert Nayland.
That 67 one does not count.
No,
that's BS.
that's Lichtenhaus. I don't even know.
Actually, 3 of theirs should not even count.
Yeah, so they have 3, maybe 3 national titles, but it's been a while. I mean,
Actually.
they get a lot of credit for being a power in football, and yet,
They really should have 2 real national titles.
you know, the last time they
should
won
have
a
2.
conference title. Now, speaking for someone
Was it
who
the
loves
year
the
they
team
won
that
the
hasn't had
national
one
title?
since 1999,
Was-
1998 they won the national title.
Yeah, believe me, I know it all too
Man,
well.
if those aren't like AP or
Flippin' T
USA
market.
Today or whatever type of polls, like those old, like we were number 1 in the Sagarin in 1970, like
Yeah,
BS, you are
the
not a national
New York
champion.
Times,
and there's
yeah.
nobody that pumps up.
Shakespeare.
If I ever see Dustin Colquitt in person, he was on the punter,
okay.
who got a fake, like a faux roughing the
No,
punter
it was
penalty.
a hell of- that's a
I'll
big
shove
time
him
play.
over and say, that's what it's like to be shoved.
All right, thanks to Mac
I'm bitter.
Rhodes, thanks to King McClure, Brady Christensen, Baylor, Brigham Young offensive tackle, John McClain, John Machota, Eric Mateos. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, many things to get to. Craig, anything else to close it out? We got to go. We're up against it.
No, I guess that's it.
Armstrong Sims, Rob Solon, and Jack McKenzie for Paul Catalina. Thank you to our great sponsors, all of them, every one of them. Tomorrow, back at it at 11 o'clock with Drake and J.D. We'll be back tomorrow at 3. I'm David Smoak. Thank you for listening whenever you do, however long it might be, on SicEm365 Radio. Stepping into the boots of a U.S. Army officer can add confidence and leadership skills to your son or daughter's career path. See all the things they can achieve in our boots at GoArmy.com. U.S. Army Waco Recruiting Company, 254-598-8131 or 254-776-1543.